Last month during the holidays, Marie, my fiance, and I had her family over. So it was her mom, her dad, sister, brother-in-law, brother, and then two additional dogs on top of the two we already have. So we had a pretty full house. Marie's mom is a very giving person, loving. She came with tons of food, lots of not healthy food, snacks, bags of chips, tons of different things. And I realized a couple days after they left that I'm sitting on the couch and I look over at our kitchen table and there's a big bag of Fritos. And I don't eat Fritos that often, but it triggered this memory as a kid. In elementary school, I was the kid that actually liked school lunches. And I remembered Chili Day, and it would come with a bag of Fritos. And so we called it Frito Chili Day. And it was also about the time last month when the temperature dropped to about 0 and negative 20 below windshield factor. So I was like, it's perfect. Let's make some chili. I've never made chili in my life, so I get Google out, start researching some recipes and looking for something that's not spicy at all because ketchup is almost like too hot for me sometimes. So as I find this recipe, I'm like, this looks good. I try it, we make it, and I killed it. It was awesome. Both of us loved it. The dogs loved licking the bowl after we were finished, and it was a big hit. So we actually I made it 3 times last month, and one day I came home to let our dogs out. They're both really small, so they can't really hold their bladders that long, so I let them out every day, and I ate lunch at home to save some money. And I opened the fridge looking for some leftover food, and I find, okay, we have chili left. It's probably a couple days old. I'm like, I better get rid of this. So I make this massive bowl. Just imagine like a ton of beans, meat, a bunch of cheese sprinkled on top. Can't forget the sour cream, and then a ton of Fritos. And then I had 2 of those at lunch. So needless to say, I was very full after I ate. It was like 3 in the afternoon. I took a really late lunch that day, so I was hungry, hence the 2 bowls. And I decided to go back to work, very tired, very full. You know, that mindset when you're like, man, I shouldn't have eaten that, but yet I don't completely regret it because it was awesome. I didn't get much work done the rest of that day. Another thing, so I drop Marie off at work every morning and pick her up every night because she's only, I think, 15 years away from getting a parking spot downtown at Mayo. So another way to save money is not to pay for parking. And that day it was a little different. She sent me a text message and said, you don't have to pick me up today. Our friend Alex, who's a nurse, was going to take her home. She said it's a little, like, just something for your birthday, so you don't have to go out of your way. So I said, okay, great. Like, I'm going to work a little bit, maybe a half hour later, get some more things done, and then come home for dinner. So she gets a ride home. I'm going through, and I get ready to go home for work. And as I walk in the door, she's standing, like, right at the door waiting for me. And so are our 2 dogs, of course, and they're, hey, Dad, we love you. Where were you all day? Jumping around, and Maria's like, hey, I love you. Where were you all day? No. It's pretty much like that. But she's like, stops me at the door, and she's like, I have a surprise for you for dinner tonight. And I'm like, okay, look, I like surprises. This should be fun. She's like, but you have to put on this blindfold. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I take off my coat, hang it up, put on the blindfold, and she kind of guides me through our living room over to our dining room table and pulls out the chair, sits me down, and starts to take the blindfold off when we hear ring, 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 like the phone in the other room, her cell phone in our bedroom was ringing. So she's like, hang on, don't take off the blindfold, I'll be right back. So she runs to the bedroom, answers the phone. In the meantime, I'm starting to have like a reaction, and my stomach from earlier that day is just kind of like, and all of a sudden I just had to make it a little better, and I just let one go. And it was not only very loud against a wooden chair, but it also like was so bad of a smell that I had to take our napkin and just was trying to get rid of it myself. So I'm going and I'm waving away, and I'm sitting there and I'm kind of going back and forth from side to side, if you know what I mean. This goes on for probably a few minutes, and I'm sitting there and I'm listening in the background, okay, listening for some goodbyes on the phone, making sure that I get rid of everything before she comes back. And so I hear the goodbyes, and I'm, okay, waving quick, get rid of it, put the napkin down, sit up straight, put my hands down, and she comes back, and I just must have had this look of innocence on my face. And she's like, "You didn't take the blindfold off, did you?" And I'm like, No, definitely not. Wouldn't have thought about it. And so as she lifts the blindfold up, I kind of adjust to the light, and I look around, and I see 10 of our best friends sitting across the dinner table, and they go, "Happy birthday, Madam Toastmaster."